I do want to remind everybody, please make sure that your cell phones are on vibrate or are completely turned off. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Sheriff Todd Entrekin. I want to thank you for being here this morning. Over the past 2 weeks, me, my family, my office, the citizens of Etowah County have been targets of miscellaneous fake news stories. And I'm here today to set the record straight. Let me warn you, this is going to take quite a while because there have been so many falsehoods, half-truths, and unfair implications that have been portrayed in the press, but we're going to try to go through each one of them one by one and give you the facts. On the screen behind me, you will see a series of documents that will support each and everything that I say here today. You also have copies of these documents in your press kits, and after I'm finished, I will take questions. Let's get started. Myth number 1, the population that is housed in this facility is underfed or improperly fed. The fact, nothing is further from the truth. On the screen behind me and in your press packets, you have a copy of a weekly menu. As you can see, each of these inmates and illegal immigrants who are housed here under an ICE program are fed balanced, nutritious meals that include fruits, vegetables, and proteins. At the bottom of each day's menu is a calorie count of that day. As you can see, there are several meals that are well above the calorie guidelines. These meals are designed by a licensed dietitian who is paid out of the inmate food provisional account. The inclusion of a licensed dietitian helps to ensure that these meals are nutritious, healthy, and balanced. Any person who is housed in this facility that has dietary restrictions or special need due to diabetes, allergies, other medical conditions, are provided a special meals that meet their dietary needs. Any person who is housed in this facility that has a religious need is given the appropriate nutritious meal. Now let me be clear. This is a jail. This is not a bed and breakfast. Domino's does not deliver here. We don't run to McDonald's and get these prisoners and detainees Big Macs. We do not serve cake on their birthday. But we do provide a healthy meal that is prepared on site here and served 3 times a day. We undergo annual inspections. We have passed those inspections with flying colors each and every time. We also have an ICE compliance officer here in the jail more than 30 hours a week, including during meal times. This officer has never cited that any of our meals were any way out of compliance. It is true that many of our population are not happy with the food we serve. If you're used to eating grandma's fried chicken, ordering pizza several times a week, you're not going to be happy. This is not a restaurant. This is not a buffet. You do not get to place an order and expect us to fill it. Eat what you're served, and you will eat a balanced, nutritious meal. Again, this is not a bed and breakfast. Myth number 2, I bought a beach house using money from the inmate food fund. This is a bald-faced lie. My wife and I bought property at the beach. That's the only part of any of this truth. We financed the property. We did not pay for it outright. We financed it at a bank. The down payment for the property was not obtained through the food account. It was obtained from a sale of a condominium, as you can see from the document on the screen. Reports that indicate or imply that there was any connection between the food account and the purchase of this property are completely false. There is currently more than $50,000 in the inmate food account. Myth number 3, it would be impossible for my income to get a bank loan or to purchase that property. Fact, this is probably the most offensive myth that has been spread throughout this whole ordeal. This discounts the career achievements of my wife. Her name is on the property as well. She is very successful, as you can see, by her tax returns. She makes more money than I do. Our combined income is more than sufficient for the financing of this property, especially now that you know that the down payment comes from a sale of another property. You can also see from my tax returns that I pay taxes on the food provisional account, which I will discuss in a few minutes. It is sad that my wife and I are having to go through so much of our personal and financial stuff publicly and defend ourselves against false attack and fake news. That's why, that's what's wrong with politics today. That's why it scares so many people away from running for office. Myth number 4. Money from the inmate food account is being used to prop up some lavish lifestyle. Here's the fact. The responsibility of feeding inmates and illegal immigrants that are in this facility is my responsibility. At times, my wife and I have had to take out loans for the cost of these meals. We have had to take out bank loans for over $150,000. My wife and I had to personally take out these loans and had to personally pay them back. We also had to work with vendors and creditors to pay off a total of nearly $400,000 we owed them as a result of their services in providing food for the inmates and illegal immigration detainees that are housed here. Nobody has written about this over the last several days. No media outlet has reported on the personal loans that we have taken out, or the vendors we had to personally pay out of our pockets. These facts have been printed in previous news story, one which is on the screen right now, but there has been no mention of it during this political smear campaign that has been run against my family, my deputies, and the people of this county. I guess some people don't want to let facts get in the way of a good story. Myth number 5. I should just give the excess money back to the county. Fact. I am legally unable to return that money to the county. As you saw on the previous slide, I am personally responsible for paying taxes on that money to both the state of Alabama and the IRS. There is no way for me to get around that. I absolutely have to pay the taxes, and as you have seen in my tax returns, and you know that now, that I do pay those taxes. Furthermore, in 2009, our late district attorney, Jimmy Hart, testified before the county commission that as the law is written, I would be violating the law if I tried to return any excess money. The printed account of that appeared in a local paper and is on the screen now. So, in order to do what some in the media have implied I should do, would be breaking the law. Again, don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. The media has ignored that dozens of charitable donations have been made with excess funds from the account over and over. I have assured that the money went back into the community with donations to charitable causes throughout Etowah County, including high school athletic departments, American Heart Association, Home Builders Association, Shriners Club, Kidney Foundation, Project Lifesaver, Pilot Club, Patriots Association, Boys and Girls Club, Sheriff's Charities, and countless other school-related and many other charities throughout the county. Myth number 6, I want to control the money that's in the inmate food account. The fact. Here's the fact. I don't want to personally be responsible for this money. I have taken every measure possible to get our county commission to take over the funding and responsibility of feeding inmates and illegal immigration detainees housed here. I've tried to get the commission to do that. I've been to them and requested that they take over, and they have declined to do so. The press coverage of those requests are available in your press packets. Several county commissions in the state do handle these operations. Under Alabama law, if they decline to do so, that responsibility, financially and operationally, fall on the sheriff. If the county commission wants to take that over, the responsibility, I will not object. I have now provided you with more documentation that you probably ever wanted, needed, but I wanted to clear this up once and for all. I want to clear my family's name, my office name, and the good reputation of the people of Etowah County. We will always have criminals who break the law and who are not happy with the accommodations when they get in jail. If you're on the outside and getting to make your decisions about what and when you eat, then you come here and you get told when and what you're going to eat. You probably aren't going to like it. But I can guarantee you that we will offer a balanced and nutritious meals 3 times a day. Nobody here is underfed. Nobody here is mistreated. I will say it's not the Ritz, so you won't be treated like a king. You will be treated like someone who has broken the law, which means you won't get your choice about what or when you eat. That is the part of the price you pay when you break the law. Now, I am open for questions. Who's first? Yes, sir.
The Southern Center for Human Rights and Alabama Appleseed have submitted public information requests to your department, the sheriff's departments throughout the state, and you provide a lot of documents here. But one thing that I don't see here is what they asked for, which are the records of how this money out of the inmate food provisional account is being spent, checks, check registers, bank statements, that sort of thing. Are you willing to turn that information over and make that information public?
I probably turned over more to you today than any sheriff in this state will ever turn over. And
You said you would give us more than we wanted.
and
We would still like to see
well,
it.
and that is because that reason you don't have that today is because there is a court case pending. There is 49 sheriffs being sued throughout the state, and you can look at mine right there. I put you what I made. You know, you can take it from there. I put my paid taxes on it. I paid, so there's my money right there. That we put out there that come into this office, what we paid taxes on, and there's a court case. I would have to refer you to the attorney.
Those documents, the reason there's a court case pending is because you were given 3 public information requests, and you did not release those documents. As they're arguing, you have to under Alabama.
Are you arguing for them or for the news story?
I'm arguing for the public information law.
Are you arguing for the?
But if you would like to turn over those documents to me, I'll take a look at them too. I mean, are you willing to to make those documents public so the public can see how that money is being spent?
We'll do that once that court case is decided. Be more than glad to.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you support Matt Butler's bill, and would you support next year, he's talking about taking it statewide to correct this, that a lot of people?
Well, I think there needs to be a statewide bill. This needs to be done. If you look back in 2007 when I was first appointed sheriff, I said then this was antiquated law and something needed to be done about it. Nobody would do anything about it. So now that I've taken it and turned it into something, everybody wants to fuss about it. Yes, sir.
Sure. Appreciate your sharing some information. In the interest of transparency, can you give me a sense over the last 3 years of how much excess money has gone to you from this fund?
Well, as my disclosure show on the Ethics Commission, around $250,000.
For each of the last 3 years?
Yes, sir.
Do you agree that the optics of this are terrible?
Oh, I do, but what can I do about it? I've tried to do something about it, but as you says in here, and the slide shows the district attorney of this county told me I couldn't do anything with it. I couldn't give it back.
But how you disperse that money is discretionary. You said you've given some money to charity.
Yes, sir.
How much money, after you give the money to charity, after you pay taxes on it, how much have you gotten?
I couldn't tell you that right now. I'd have to look back, but it's been, I've used the money.
But you agree the optics of that are also charitable?
The optics, yes, but I can't change the optics.
But you can't change how that money is spent. In other words, the money comes to you, you pay taxes on it. The money you've taken legally, you pay taxes on it, which also makes it legal. But how you spend that money is totally up to you, whether you spend it.
Just like yours is. How you spend yours at the end of the.
But here's the thing, the median income in this county, the median income in Etowah County is $40,000.
Yes, sir.
$40,000. Should their tax money go in the pocket of the local sheriff at $250,000 a year?
The legislatures need to change it. I lost money for years, and nobody said a word about it. Nobody come to my defense when I was $400,000 in debt. Nobody. Nobody. I mean, and I was public about it, that I was borrowing money, that I was taking it out of my family's pocket, and nobody said anything about it. When I finally changed it, now here we are.
That's a fair point. You're $400,000 in the hole. I get it. Okay. So, I'm sorry, how long have you been an officer?
10 years.
10 years. So 10 years, from 400 down, how much are you up?
What, 250,000 a year.
Times 3 years?
Yes, sir.
So you're $750,000 up.
Yes, sir.
Is there any part of profiting $750,000 in 3 years that seems like protecting the serve?
Again, it's the law. Haven't done anything wrong. If it's wrong, somebody needs to change the law. I have asked them to change the law, and they have not changed it. Anybody else?
Sheriff, you made a point that this is not a restaurant. People don't get the orders of that. So my question is, with that in mind, how do you make that much of a profit on an inmate food program?
Well, we've learned a lot over the years, over 10 years. We've learned how to feed a balanced diet. We've learned how to feed a nutritious diet. We've learned how to buy food better, larger quantities from different locations, and be able to save on money. When we first come in here, we didn't know all this stuff. It was a learning curve, but we've learned how to do all this.
How many inmates are in jail, and how do they break down by federal, state, and municipal?
Well, I can't tell you the municipal right off the bat, but there's probably around 300 federal inmates in here today, and then probably cities. There's probably not, but maybe 50, maybe, and then the rest of them will be county and state inmates.
How many would that state be?
This morning I didn't look, but I would imagine there's probably over 800 and or close to. I would say there's probably 950 people in jail today.
That's total, or is that?
Total in jail today.
Total.
Yes, sir.
You said 300?
Say 300 of them will be federal inmates, roughly, and then another 50 of them probably are city and inmates.
So that's about 550 state inmates, right?
Yes, sir.
You get $1.75 for each of those.
Yes, sir.
How much, if you're taking home roughly $250,000 a year from the food fund, from that money, that's about $600 a day. How much money a day is going to feed those 550?
Well, I'd have to sit here and figure it up, but it's a substantial amount of it is. It costs a lot to feed these people.
So are there other sources of money that are going to feed these inmates other than that $1.75 a day?
And the $4 a day, yes, that's it.
Where's the $4 a day come from?
From the federal and the city inmates.
So are these, I guess what I'm getting at here is, which money are you using first? Are you using the federal money first or the state money?
I'm using it all together.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, you asked my question, but
Sheriff, why not, again, because you can't control the office, and I appreciate it. If you're profiting $250,000 a year, why not give it all to charity? So there's no question about it.
Well, this is just like anybody else. Our medical contractors, your people that contract with the county to pave the roads or whatever. I didn't ask for this job. I did not. Anybody that gets out here and works every day, and at the end of the day, if you make a profit, it's yours.
But this is public service.
Well,
Public service.
but I didn't ask for the job of feeding them. I asked to be the sheriff, and it come with that job. And so, I'm not gonna make you happy, I promise you. And I've tried to answer your questions, and we just keep going over and over. It is what it is. I can't change it. The legislature is the only one that can change, or the county commission. In this county, there's a state law that says they can meet tomorrow and vote to take this over. And I've asked them to do that. They haven't done it. We wouldn't be here if they'd have done that. Again, it's an old antiquated law, but it is what it is, and I have to deal with that law. I have to work through it. And now that I've made it, where it works, there's a problem.
So how much of the food that you serve is donated?
I get some donated food. I couldn't tell you the quantity, but I do get some donated food from different places. But I couldn't tell you exactly how much of it's donated right now.
When
Yes,
I
ma'am.
talked to the county commission president earlier this week, he said he did not have a formal proposal from you. When's the last time you made a proposal? Here's what I'd like.
It's in your press packet when we last asked, and we've talked informal a lot of times. You know, I guess they don't want to get formal because they don't want it on them. You know, they're running for office right now too. They don't want this to be put on them right now, so that they've got to answer the question why they haven't taken it over. But I've asked them on numerous times. First when I was appointed, then after I was elected, I've asked them to take it. They've refused to take it, so I just took it and turned it into what it is today.
And since this all broke, have you heard anything from the federal authorities? Have they asked to see your records?
No, ma'am.
Sheriff, I think I heard Monica mention that some of the $250,000 you get each year is donated to charity, but are you at liberty to say?
It's in my tax returns. I'm not sure exactly how much is, but we're constantly buying ads or donating to whoever. So I'm not sure exactly how much it is.
Do you still want to be sheriff?
Yes, I want to be sheriff. I mean, that's what I want to be. I don't want to have to wear a sheriff's hat. I want to be the sheriff of this county. But with being the sheriff of this county, this is what comes with it. So, that's why I'm standing here today to answer this. I'd love to answer it earlier in the week, but we had a tornado in this county, if everybody didn't see, and we were kind of tied up with that. And, we had a homicide last night. But here I am standing answering questions about feeding inmates.
I got a question. Looking at some of those bid documents, you see that, the county is bidding out for trays for inmates to use in jail. And I guess those trays, I don't know, and some kind of jail equipment that's being used for feeding inmates. So why are those things not being paid out of excess food money?
Because the law says that it's their responsibility to buy that. It comes in a line item in the budget. When I took over, there was a line item for it. There always has been. There's never been a sheriff, and you can check with the county commission. I know what the reports have said in the fake news, that the previous sheriff bought trays. That's bull. I know. I was here working. I know. It's fake news.
Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you.